Good morning and welcome again to the Haven Financial Group radio show. I'm Larry Kallevig, founder and CEO of the Haven Financial Group. On with you every week talking about retirement. We're going to talk about birth dates, certain dates that are important for retirement, investments, all the different retirement topics that do come into play and should be discussed, Kim, prior to retirement and well before retirement. Again, the sooner you start planning for retirement, the more prepared you're going to be and the better off you're going to be. So there's no time better than now. And it's, again, no matter what age you're at, if you're an adult, now's the time. If you're 20, 30, or any age, believe me, Kim, retirement looms and comes faster than any of us think.
That is for certain. That I believe 100%. And, it is kind of funny. I think a lot of people, you get to a certain age, you start saying, oh, birthdays, they don't matter anymore. I don't even want to think about that. But truth be known, there are some real birthdays out there, some real dates that are really essential to know if you are in retirement or approaching retirement. So for the purposes of this conversation, we're going to start, with anybody 49 or under first, and then we'll move forward from there. But as Larry mentioned, it's never too early. Your very first job, it's very, very smart to get yourself involved in a 401k if your employer is offering it, and lots of other means by which to save money. But we'll start there, Larry, with 49 and under, with a sort of a generic, casting a net out for a pretty wide cast.
Yeah, and why are these retirement dates or birthdays so important? Well, there's certain time frames where you can access your monies without penalties or certain ramifications, and you don't want penalties or any of that stuff. Income streams, when are they going to be accessible? So yeah, anytime is a good time to start saving. So again, I can't encourage enough. Start early. Age 50, now we have the catch-up provisions. Now maybe the kids are off to college, or maybe they're off the payroll, or wouldn't that be nice, actually? But no, I'm just kidding. Where you can take advantage of those catch-up provisions up to $8,000 outside of your own in your own contributions, and then inside your 401k. Don't miss out on that. Great way to take advantage of that. Age 55, if you're fortunate enough to be able to retire, if you're 55, you can access some of those retirement funds. But just work with somebody that knows what they're doing. There's a lot of details in doing that. And I've seen it work very successfully for those that are over 55, but also those that have made mistakes because whoever they worked with didn't know how to do it. So that's always important. And then, we deal with this a lot, and it's worth stressing at 59 and a half, whether you're still working or not working, you can do rollovers inside of those 401ks, 403bs, deferred comps, 457, whatever your employer-sponsored plan is. You have the ability, even if you're still working, maybe you want to be safer in your investments. Maybe you don't there's not a lot of good investment options in your plan. The federal government says literally that you're getting closer to retirement. Explore all the options you want. And by the way, there are no tax ramifications for rollovers. And for many people, it makes sense. Maybe you've jumped jobs around a little bit. Maybe you're IT consultants. I see this a lot, and they have different contracts, and they have 401ks all over the place.
Sure.
Well, why not consolidate and simplify and do those rollovers? And again, there's no tax implications, and there really should be no costs whatsoever.
62, that is the earliest you can start to draw your Social Security, if in fact that's in the cards for you at 62.
Yeah, 62. You're going to get reduced benefits, though. So it's why we stress, do I take it at 62? Do I wait till my full retirement age, which is based on your birthday? Listeners, if you want to know, I'm 55 and mine is 67. So if you wanted to know, now you know. Age 70 is going to be the latest you're going to take it. It doesn't grow beyond that unless you're working and you're still contributing, but you don't wait turning it on past 70. So that's why it's a big decision. It's over time, Social Security in normal life expectancy situations, for many, many people, is the biggest part of their portfolio. And if you do the math over, the 20, 30 or whatever years, it's a very big number. And if you do the number, it's close to $1 million or more during normal life expectancy that one can generate from Social Security. So it should not be taken lightly. 65, Medicare discussions. Yes, and Glenn and Isabella do a wonderful job, and we have access to all the companies, and you shouldn't pay for working with a broker that can help you with it. However, lots of times people have, well, I'm still working. I have my own insurance. Do I have to go sign up for it? And the answer is no, if you have credible coverage.
Right.
And there's so many questions and confusion in Medicare and healthcare, and rightfully so. I've heard those guys talk for years, and I'm still confused by it. So work with somebody in that area, shop it out every year. We don't always make changes, but there's lots of changes in the Medicare area, and you need to know what those changes are. Last year, this might ring a bell with some listeners, they didn't shop it out, and there was some prescription drug changes. And they didn't think it applied to them, and now they're paying $10 or whatever more for every prescription because they didn't look into it. You don't have to do it. You can have somebody do the work for you. And I guarantee you, Isabella and Glenn help lots of people in those areas.
What if you miss the deadline there for 65 or 66 and you don't get signed up?
Again, work with somebody to avoid that happening, number one. Number two, if you're still working, have credible coverage, or maybe you're married and your spouse has credible coverage. For many times, there's nothing you need to do whatsoever until a future time frame, which is why I work with somebody that can lead you through those timelines. Again, age 70 is the latest you'll take Social Security, of course. 72 and 73, we talked on the last segment. That's when RMDs now, depending upon your age. For those listening, 8 years from now, that goes to 75. In 2033, it goes to the age 75, of course, unless they've made changes again, which is certainly possible. So all these are important dates. Don't pay penalties because nobody's helped you or you didn't know what those dates were, or become careless because you got maybe a big tax penalty because you missed the dead dates. And we should say another date. April 15th is right around the corner.
Yes.
Tax deadline. If you can't make it, make sure that whoever's doing your taxes, or if it's your do-it-yourselfer, to file the extension. We do help. Lance is our in-house CPA here, and man, he does a heck of a job, and he really cares and visits with people, and he's very fair on the tax preparation cost. And at Haven, we don't charge any extra for tax planning throughout the course of the year, and we have had Lance on a few different times, and he's not a drop-off pickup guy. He's a whiteboard explain, and I'm telling you, he's here sun up to sundown right now, and I see people leave his office after getting their taxes done, and they're happy.
Sure,
you don't see
relieved.
that with taxes very often. They're happy.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, I think that was a pretty good tax meeting. I don't think there was any negative surprises because we planned throughout the course of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you, just as an expert, life expectancy is certainly getting longer, and we have seen changes in a lot of these dates, and they have been pushed back. What do you anticipate is going to happen over time?
Wow. The government does not move too fast, but change is inevitable. There's going to have to be some changes for Social Security. I don't know. We can't get both sides to the aisle to ever agree on anything, but there's going to have to be some change. There already has been some change. We're not going to like the changes. It's hard to say. It's really hard to say. You've seen the RMD ages change. And again, there's going to have to be some Medicare changes. With this administration in, there's going to have to be. Again, we're seeing a lot of waste. And there's got to be some accountability because there's a lot of money that's flowing through these through Medicare, through Social Security, through all of these areas. And again, we have to have some accountability. And I would hope that we'll get to that point and everything will settle down here a little bit. I've never ruled out the idea that one can work past, we talk about retirement and I don't know if I have enough income. For most people, unless you have health issues or something like that, nobody said you can't work.
Right.
Sometimes people retire and they go get a part-time job, and you know what? It helps out. It's their spending money, and nobody said you can't do that. So at the end of the day, we like to look at all the options. I get a kick out. I got a lot of clients that they work at the golf course, they mow the grass, they get free green fees, and they work on the first hole, they're starters, and there's a whole bunch of stuff you can do. And we love talking through those things.
Absolutely. All right. Let's give everybody the number, and they can give the folks at Haven Financial Group a call. 612-504-8400. That's 612-504-8400. Tell them you heard us here on the radio. You can also go to havenfinancialgroup.com and take a look at some of those upcoming seminars. You can sign up. You don't have to be a client to attend. They are free of charge, but they do need a head count. So again, that's havenfinancialgroup.com. Still coming your way, costs and budgets. They're crucial to your retirement picture, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that right here on the Haven Financial Group Radio Show.